And let's go.
With your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go again. Before we start, though, this time, if you guys drop a subscribe, a like, it would definitely help us in the algorithm, so we would definitely appreciate that.
It'll definitely help us with our TikTok account.
Well, we'll see about that one.
Yeah, we're still fighting on that.
Yeah, so we'll start off with that today.
Yeah.
We definitely, so we haven't talked about it in a while. We've been trying to work with them, try to get something going, but we ended up getting banned on TikTok a while back. Don't know why.
I'm not going to say it.
So if you guys want to help us out with that, maybe you guys have some ideas, but
yeah,
somehow,
apparently we violated the community standards, and we have no idea
badly,
because
though.
they didn't notify us.
Well, so that's that. I think we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Normally they would, if it's something that's not super bad, they will kind of give you a notification saying like, "Hey, you're suspended for this reason, or this particular post is suspended."
We just got shut the wicket down.
We really did. I mean, we just straight up.
You have violated the community standards on multiple occasions, and you have been banned.
We got nothing,
and we had no idea. So we responded to them and said we don't know what violated the community standards.
We're still waiting on that.
We're still waiting on a response.
And that was part of the reason we didn't actually talk about it because we're waiting on it. But
we thought they were going to get back to us right away. Oh, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, considering they didn't actually send us a message for the beginning, so
yeah, they're like, "You're banned because you are stupid."
Yeah. So I think, who knows?
I was close there.
You were pretty close.
Pretty close. Not quite bad enough. So needless to say, we are not 100% happy with TikTok at this moment. Like, I get it. If we violated community standards, let us know what we did so we can adjust it. We have literally no idea what we did. Like, the same posts that we have on TikTok are the same ones we have on Insta, on
X,
on all these other ones, and we haven't been banned anywhere else but TikTok.
But who knows? Hey, maybe Instagram will hear this one and they'll be like, "You guys are banned too."
Maybe Instagram will be like, "You're very bad too."
Yeah, right. I mean, I honestly don't know what we said that's honest. That's really that bad because we don't really say. Okay,
we're not. We're not super controversial.
Yeah, we really aren't. We try to avoid it.
And we didn't dance around on the table half naked with our stuff hanging out, which is stuff that you see on TikTok all the time. Maybe we should. Maybe that's the key to stay on TikTok is be super crazy over the top on community standards instead of following the rules and getting kicked off. Like, we have no clue. Like, I would honestly, if they had said, "Hey, you have to change this," we would change it and adapt it because it's part of our outreach to you guys to get you guys involved, our content, get us involved and bring subscribers to the channel. But we literally have no idea. It's like having your girlfriend come be like, "I'm breaking up with you," and walking away, and you never find out why she broke up with you.
You know what? I absolutely hate that. That is I like that you brought that up. This is totally off topic. We didn't even plan this, but I think that is a great starting point for an actual topic.
Oh,
because women do that all the time.
I wouldn't know. I've been married for 20 years. But it's the best 20 years of my life because she listens to the podcast.
No, but even in everyday conversation,
you're going to hurt myself.
You're not under. I'm not under duress.
I am not under duress. I am not under duress. If I disappear, I didn't do it.
No, but in everyday conversation with women, that tends to be the kind of the case.
Yeah,
they will kind of put it out there and expect you to know. As guys, granted, this is going to be somewhat controversial because it's a gender-based thing, right?
Yeah,
but
we can speak in generalities because for the mass general public, I know where you're going with this. I think I agree with you. Well, we'll see. I'll going to let you finish your thought before I go off in like
before
I go to Texas. Oh, which honestly, Texas, there I just did it. There's your Cowboys. So hey, I'm getting a big Buffalo Bills flag to throw up here.
I mean, if you guys hadn't noticed that he now has his
Buffalo Bills license plate area.
There you go.
So I'm going to put a big Buffalo Bills flag up. Just
I'm sure you will.
Screw Dallas.
I'm sure we'll make adjustments as we go.
I squirreled you.
You did.
Back to the girlfriends. Okay, sorry.
So, it's not even just a girlfriend thing. It's
women in general.
Women in general, men and women.
Communication. Let me go with this and see if you agree with me. I'm going to cut you off on this one here. Let's talk about the communication difference between men and women.
Yes, and that's kind of where
you're going. Okay,
that's kind of where I was going.
Yes.
So you started it.
So
you're where you were going, and then I'll see.
So where I'm going is that women tell us whatever they want to tell us. Men hear about 25% of what they say. Okay. We process about 10 to 15% of what we hear. And if you assume we know something or that we heard you,
we didn't.
We didn't.
We didn't.
Like, honestly, like, if my wife says to me, I want X, Y, and Z for my anniversary, I will hear she wants X, Y, and Z. Yeah. If she says, I don't really want anything, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Men are, for the most part, are very literal.
Yes.
Whereas when my wife asks me, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, I want the 122 kit for my Harley-Davidson.
Oh.
Too expensive. I'm not going to do it.
Sure. But, okay. So,
anyway,
so we're kind of in the same realm.
Yeah.
I think it's more the way people communicate. So women go around it as it is an emotional...
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's a very emotional reaction, and they expect you to read,
emotions.
Well, I saw these things, and I got excited, so even in general conversation with just women, it doesn't have to be like a relationship.
Yeah.
Well, regardless,
it's a relationship. You're talking to somebody. It's a familiar relationship versus a romantic or a marriage, which has been the best thing of my life. Actually, I joke. My marriage is phenomenal. I love it.
I was going to say, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because otherwise I'm going to die. Or I'm going to unalive.
No.
Dies okay. And then we're okay on that one.
I think we're okay on that one. Now we're over here being too critical.
Now we're so scared because I don't want to get banned on everything else because I said a bad word.
Yeah. But I think they expect you to read those little cues, whereas even
we don't get them.
And men are very... Because the way we communicate, how do we communicate? It's very straightforward.
We're A to B.
Yes.
Hey, what do you need today?
I need sushi.
Okay. Let's go get sushi.
Exactly.
It's a very... Well, I don't know. Like, what do you want? I need food.
I need food. Okay. Where are we going?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very...
Well, what do you want?
Straightforward. Yeah.
Oh, I want Italian. Well, I don't really want Italian. Well, okay, then let's get...
Okay, if we're going to go down that road...
Chick-fil-A.
If we're going to go down
I don't really want
road,
Chick-fil-A.
If you really want to go down that road, if we're going to go into that conversation, because that's anybody's relationship regardless, it's going to be, hey, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. You pick. Well, what about Italian? No. No, that doesn't ever sound good. What about steak? Well, I was thinking more, no.
What about Mexican?
Well... You go down that path.
How about I make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because that's the only thing we haven't talked about. Well, let's go to this place. Well, then you just should have said that in the first place. I don't care. Yeah.
It really is, though. Yeah, it really is, though. That's every guy's general thing with women.
90% of guys will eat or find a meal wherever you go to eat.
Exactly. But
if we go to the vegan restaurant, sorry, I'm not finding anything. I'll have a salad. Yeah, I could eat a salad.
You can do a salad, but then I'm gonna go get some hot dogs afterwards.
Oh, imagine that, you and hot dogs.
Well,
I have that one in there somewhere.
I'm sure you have that, but
there you go. Yours is easier to go through. This is kind of hard to scroll through.
Well.
Because I can't, I don't remember what each one of the pictures stands for.
The one thing you have to control.
I don't know picture.
And I have this. I'm going through many things.
I'm old.
Not much older.
Oh yeah, way older.
10 years is not that crazy. It's not even a full. So generations, they say, is about 25 years.
So if I was 9-year-old If I was a 9-year-old and we had a 10-year-old and we had a 10-year difference, how old would you be? Huge difference. Huge. Mongo. It's huge.
Yeah. I think when you're younger, I think it makes a bigger difference.
Yeah. As you get older, it doesn't. We all just.
We do go down that I think it's that rabbit hole too, but I think it's as you get older, time doesn't phase you the same way.
Oh no, it doesn't. Well, time just disappears. Like I can't believe, where we're at. Like this last year has been like.
It has. It really has.
Like where did it go?
We've already passed so many months. We're more than midway through 2024.
Well, and we've been podcasting for 6 months?
No, it hasn't even been that long yet.
4 months.
It's only been
about 4 months. About 4 months.
I think we started April?
Yeah, so we're about 6 months at this point. By the time this airs, it's going to be 6 months.
No, we're about
pretty close.
4. I think we're 4.
So yeah, 4. Yeah,
I think
the idea was born way earlier than that.
This idea was born way before we actually started.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
So I think you're going down that road where time does.
Hey, I can't remember yesterday.
I don't remember this morning.
Oh, I do. Do it.
We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, I think you did bring up a great topic with the whole relationship thing.
And it's not that men, for the most part, because we're going to have to speak in generalities because there's always people that are outside that general category.
Absolutely.
There's some dudes who pick up on all those cues. I'm not one of them. Great for them. Great for them because life's way easier for you.
Yeah.
Because I get told all the time, well, I told you that.
When?
Oh, I texted you. When? And they said, well, that's what I meant to text you.
I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick.
I can't read your mind.
I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick because of the texted. Texted is not a word.
Texting?
Texted.
Oh, text. Well, yeah, it's the past tense
so
of
now
text.
it's becoming a word. I've hated it for the longest time. People have said it for the longest time. I've hated it because there is no past tense of text. It's text message.
Well, but see, here's the thing: it is now a verb.
So I'm a little bit more understanding now. So I've been starting
to argue in the English language that,
but 10, 15 years ago,
oh no, there was no such thing.
And people
could you imagine trying to text on a rotary phone?
Exactly.
You'd never be able to.
But
it was hard enough doing when you had to do the first 3 letters of your freaking. Oh my god,
that was terrible. I remember that.
Okay, I got to get to the P. Beep beep. Even when the first cell phones came out, where you're punching the buttons and you're trying to text, and it was like
the T9.
You had to do. You had to hit the button 3 times to get to the letter you needed.
Came out, and that made it so much easier because you hit 1, 1, 1 of each, and then it guessed kind of what you're doing, and you're like, okay, no, next one.
But then we got the BlackBerry.
Oh, I love Blackberries.
The Blackberries were really good. We called them crackberries at work. But the Blackberries were honestly really good. They were really, really good.
They were awesome.
As far as making it super easy to text and move through them. And I think Apple's done a great job. This is not a shout out to Apple. I used to have Androids for years. The only reason I switched to Apple is because my wife and kids had them. So instead of having different chargers.
I'm in that same boat. Yeah. The only reason I switched to Apple is only because my son got an Apple.
Well, now though, because of that lawsuit in Europe, and we've talked about this briefly on other casts about the USB-C and the lawsuits and all that. Now it doesn't matter anymore. You can use whatever you want. And you've got the same USB-C charger.
Yeah.
But now I've gotten so accustomed to, and I'm going to call it the ease of usage of Apple products. I think they're very easy. The interface is really good, but it's because I've learned it.
Yeah.
I know guys who are phenomenal on the Android systems, and they do them really well. I've gotten so far away from it. It's been.
Well, I think this is an age thing.
It's been 15 years since I've had an Android.
Oh no, it hasn't been. Well,
technically the work ones are Androids, but I don't. Yeah, I answer phones on that. That's all I do is answer
and
the
respond
work
to emails, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't think that counts, but I think it's more of an age thing too. It starts to get into it, and I will give you my reasoning. Because when I was younger, I loved Android for the reason of you could customize to the smallest degree.
Mm-hmm.
You could do.
Very true.
I want this certain font. I want this color. I want this. I want that. I want these certain backgrounds on my fonts. All of everything.
100% true. 100% true.
And
I
then
agree
you
with you
start
on
getting
that.
older, and you're just like, that doesn't.
I don't really care.
I don't really care as much anymore.
Well, like ringers with my Androids, everybody had their own ringer.
Yes, it was always a song.
So, my wife's was the Imperial Death March, and one time she called. Like I was in the room, she's like, "Is that me calling you?" And I was like,
No.
no."
No.
And then she called back and went again. I was like, "Nope, not you again." She's like, "Why are you doing that?" Honey, because I love you.
Either.
Oh no, she knew.
Oh,
She knew Star Wars enough to know that. She's like, "Huh? So you think I'm Vader?" I was like,
no, you didn't.
"Yes,"
You
because
didn't,
I said yes,
unalive
honey,
a bunch
because
of
you have the
younglings?
power of the Force over me.
That's a good save. I'll give you that. That's a good save.
Yeah, and she was like, she kind of gave me a look and was like,
Okay, fine.
"I'll
give
let you
that
get
one.
away with that."
I'll give you that one.
Meanwhile, I walked through the room and was like, barely dodged that one. Yeah. And now she's going to watch this and be like, "Oh,"
Oh, really?
because she'll remember that. Oh, she will remember that.
Hey, I like how you brought it back.
Back
Full
to
circle.
us to the
Circle back.
conversating with the other sex and their ability to remember every little detail. But honestly, it happens because the way women think, and it's been scientifically proven that they attach emotion with decisions, ideas.
Absolutely.
So whereas guys will be like A, B, C, D, E, F, we're done.
Yeah.
Women attach emotion to the
Every
vast majority of their conversations. Not all of them. I mean, there's some that they're just like, brr. But I mean, for the most part, they attach multiple feelings, ideas, etc. to
To
their
each
thoughts.
thing that they're doing.
So what that does is that actually allows them to remember better. So like with guys, like if you remember, like we've said in the past about that smell.
Yeah.
Like I remembered that smell with my grandfather, and that extra emotion going into Gramps, and that smell, all of a sudden
clicked.
turns me into overload, and it's like, brr.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's where guys think very A to B, and there's not a whole lot of other stuff involved. It's this and this. Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
So it's definitely just a difference between men and women, and differences are great. That's what makes it like
That's
the
what
differences are awesome.
because it's yin and yang.
Yeah, like I like you, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because could you imagine the two people who think like us in a relationship with
jeez.
straight A to B conversation? Oh, it'd be terrible.
No,
I don't even want to talk to you here.
You need the nuance. You need that little. You need that little bit of nuance to be able to make things interesting, right?
Well, yeah,
Like, and our conversations are interesting, obviously, but
for more than one reason. But
that's probably more because of the idiot part of it than
yes,
anything
it's
else.
the idiot. It's the idiot. We go into an idiot zone very easily with the two of us, but
But could you imagine that on a day-to-day basis, every day at night?
it would get old.
Yeah,
It would
you
honestly get old. Like we see each other enough
Yeah,
that we can tolerate each other. So the trip to Chicago is going to be interesting. We should be on the road about the time, either on the road or coming back when this finally drops.
yeah. So we'll probably be back by the time this drops. Thinking about it, because obviously everyone knows we don't tape.
Yeah, we're not
the
live.
day before. So and on top of it,
There's editing. There's
trying-
editing involved, and we're trying to get to
and
where
right
we're getting
now,
it faster.
because of that one, just because we're doing that trip, and it's going to be kind of a long one. We're trying to get a little bit ahead.
Yeah, so we recorded an extra episode just to be.
Just
So
to
when
be
we're
ahead.
gone, we don't have to worry about. Okay, we're going to stop the bikes and do an episode because we just can't.
No,
There's
And-
too
and
much gear to put
we'll
on the
probably
bikes.
do some stuff. We'll probably
Well,
do some
we'll-
stuff while we're there because we got
at the national meet for sure.
yeah.
On the road, we'll try to do something, and it might just be like a quick short,
Yeah.
like a 10-minute short of on the bikes,
It might be our 360 camera, couple mics, and just
and
a
just
little
chatting,
something.
just laughing. But because honestly, there's a lot of equipment, and it's actually going to come up with our. The equipment's going to be on our support vehicle that's coming up behind us. So
Yeah.
we're going to leave before the support vehicle because of the temperatures. It's so hot.
It's
So
insane.
it is even in here with the AC and the fan going. It's hot today.
It's nice though.
But
it makes
it's
a
been
significant.
Oh yeah, I
difference.
mean it's 105, 109 outside right now. So I mean it's it's a huge difference. It's like 15 degrees cooler in here than it would normally be. So that's a big difference. Yeah. So it's been beneficial. And, you know, we've got some new equipment. So
obviously
we stepped up a little bit of our game. We decided to have some things that are a little bit better. The whole point is we're trying
they make a significant difference on just being able to place things perfectly and
everything stays where it is. Everything, you know, I got my Stormtrooper.
Look at you with your Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Stormtrooper white.
My Stormtrooper
I got my
white. Sith black and red. So life's good. But I mean, you know, those are the things that make a difference. But yeah, so those conversations with women, it is what it is. I hate using that.
I know. I hate that saying, but no, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've said this prior before. I get where people are coming from when they say it is what it is, and especially depending on the context. It's depending on the context you're using it in, that makes the difference.
Well, and in that situation with men and women's communication, that there's no change in that. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, in there, like we said, there's always some little nuances to that. And having been married for 20 years, she knows that if she wants something, she has to literally text me, get this.
Yes. This is the thing I want.
And she knows, like, if you want something, you just got to go out and buy it.
And don't get me wrong, you can be that guy every once in a while. That I picked up on things along the way, and you know, I got you a little something special for your birthday, for whatever, for a special occasion.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just get her something out of nowhere, and she's like, "What's this for?" I'm like, just because I love you."
Yeah, and I picked up along the way. I thought you wanted this. Here you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So there is that. Guys aren't completely stupid, but they're not going to pick up on those little little things.
No, they won't.
And that makes a significant difference, and that's why there's such a communication
breakdown sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Women don't think about it that way. They just think you should understand.
Yeah, and we just don't.
We don't. We just don't. We don't have that connection in our brain. Because that's the thing. Is like, you might pick up on something because we've known each other for long enough to where it's like, oh, I think he would like this kind of thing for his birthday. I think he would like this kind of thing for a special occasion, because it's like, oh, you know what? I know his favorite beer is X. And you're like, hey, I know you like this. Here you go. Here's a 12-pack. Yeah. You know, but it's not as nuanced as what women try to do.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you 100% there. So
I think
we beat ourselves with that one pretty good.
Yeah.
So lunch
we're probably
today.
going to be in trouble on that one.
Oh, I will be. You won't be. You're fine.
Yeah,
so lunch today.
I'm sure I'll get in trouble in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is what you really thought?
Yeah.
I remember that time on your podcast you said that you didn't listen to me.
That's the only bad part.
I didn't know you back then, but you didn't listen to me. You said you didn't listen to me. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was going to have to get beeped. Hey, that's one of those. That's red flagged. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So lunch today.
What the hell?
Great day at lunch today. So
it was actually
we go out. We get a little bit of a rainstorm. It was hot when we got there. It was like I was 105 when we pulled in. So it was warm. It was ridiculous. Normally we'll ride the bikes to lunch, and today we had a couple of things that we had to take care of, some business here and there.
And we also had equipment that I had to bring. Yeah,
equipment that you had to bring. So we had some. We're like, we're just going to take the car today. So we went out. We went up there. We get there. We're having our lunch. You got some weird bone or something in your food, and that was kind of weird.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't. I've had bad luck with sushi lately. I
passed it on to you.
I think you
my
did.
Bad luck
you've been
might
having
be
good. Yeah,
the last couple of days, my week's been good. So, anyway, we're sitting there, we're having our drinks, we're having our sushi, and one of the, and let's be honest, our waitresses at the sushi place we go to are phenomenal. They're amazing. Beautiful, smart young women who just, every time we walk in, they know what we were going to have. Hey, you guys don't need menus. Nope, we don't. So, one of the actual hostess was having a hard time getting the shades up. So he goes up there. I say, "Oh, come on, Ubi will help it for you. He'll get you taken care of." And he goes up there.
He threw me under the bus.
Oh yeah, because I know I'm not going to stand on the thing and do it. Yeah. And he's up there and he's trying to mess with it. And he says, Oh, yeah. He goes, hey, you got to get it just in the right spot. And I said, yeah, that's what she said. And all the waitresses burst out laughing. And she's like, yeah, and one of them was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You've got to get it just in the right spot. And so everybody's laughing about that. And then he's like, man, I just can't get it to go. It's like it's stuck or something. I said, oh, and I know we're late to this game, but I said, yeah, you're right. I said, oh, you got to give a little bit of hak tui to get it going. And everybody cracked up laughing.
Well, but oh my gosh. That just shows how the viral trend just.
Oh yeah, like that thing out of nowhere, and we're way behind the curve here at this point, but
everybody knew what it was.
It's still prevalent enough that it was funny, and like the hostess was like, "Oh yeah, doing that!" Like, oh my god, we had a blast. But those ladies are so amazing. So they hooked us up with a free round for helping them out. We got Ubi got it completely fixed, and everything was good to go, and.
Shout out to me for actually fixing something.
He fixed it. Like for a second, he looked back to me and he was like, "Help!" And I was like,
"Oh no!"
And I shook my head. Nope, you're on your own, buddy. You're on your own.
But then again, it took how long to get that fixed?
No, 10 minutes. It wasn't actually all that bad. It was probably felt way longer with you standing on there because everybody's staring at you. I have two waitresses with me, the hostess with you. Everybody's staring at you, and
everybody at the restaurant looking at me do this, and I'm like,
and when that hak tui came out, everybody, the sushi chefs. The waitresses, everybody was laughing. So it was really good. And then we were doing some editing after that on the podcast, and we're working on some editing. And they're like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're editing our podcast." We're like, "You guys have a podcast?" Yeah. And then automatically 2 more follows.
And then all of a sudden you start hearing people
listening to our podcast on the side and laughing. And the best part is they're laughing over it, which makes us feel good. But.
Well, I mean, there was also people laughing at us while we were talking.
I still that hak tui. I'm just gonna.
You really did.
It was perfect. It was perfect timing, and all of them burst out laughing. Like that was like the best. It literally, I think made their day.
Yeah,
because she was like, "Rounds on me."
Yeah,
the hostess was like, "Hey, the rounds on me right now." We're like, "Sweet." So we thought she was just going to give him a beer.
Yeah.
Oh no, she gave us a round of sake bombs. So we were like,
it was enough for both of us.
Sweet.
It was enough for both of us.
We had a sake bomb for the pair. Nice.
So that made it great.
Yeah, and then of course we're walking around doing the other stuff we had to do, the business portion of it, and going to grab us some gear from one of the utility places, getting some utility stuff, and walked around the corner. And I said, and that was it. We just burst out laughing again. Like you can't do anything with it. Like it was just so funny.
We were almost laughing as much as.
Ducks! Yeah, ducks everywhere! Duck! So, yeah, good time. Ducks! Yeah. So, we won't talk about that on here, but
maybe one day.
There's a bad duck thing.
Maybe one day.
I have a thing about ducks.
Ducks are great.
Yes.
So, I think it's time to hit a topic.
And we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, the Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, by the Chicago Police Department.
They have many chapters throughout the United States and international. We are part of the Tucson chapter, and Eric is actually national president, and he got to go visit our international brothers down in Italy.
And moved on and saw some friends that we met in Italy and Qatar. But we're a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on law enforcement and first responder families in their times of need, whether it be a death, financial issue. We're there to help support our brothers and sisters in blue.
Yep. Anything they need or their families need, we usually try to help out anything we can, any way we can, financially, or even if it's just moral support, being there for them, being able to help them out with anything they need or we can do for them.
So if you're interested in donating to the Legion of St. Michael, reach out to any of the chapters through us, through our many social media profiles that we have set up.
Being Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube, or Rumble. Any one of those you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to us on our email, bikesmikesandidiots@gmail.com, and we'll try to get back to you as quickly as we can so you can help us out and do whatever you can.
And once again, thank you to Legion of St. Michael as a founding member. Oh, yeah, what do we got?
Great topic.
Hold on. Let me see if we got a drum roll.
Oh.
I know you probably got one. I can't find mine.
Oh, no, I just got the rim shot. And that's what it's called.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll do this. Whoops, wrong one. So while we're waiting for our new topic, we're going to go like this.
Every time. So this is kind of a little bit older, but I've had it on our notes for a little while because I think it's something we should go into, and we could probably go for quite a while. Yes. So this might be multi-episode, but there's a theory that Neanderthals might have been smarter than Homo sapiens.
Yeah, I'm a Neanderthal. Look at my freaking brow line.
And actually, that's part of the whole thing, because there is a portion of the population that still has Neanderthal DNA. And that's probably mostly guys. Could very well be me. It's mostly guys.
And if you look at me, like, I'm pretty smart. Like, I don't play it off. I don't play smart here.
No, you really.
But I am
actually are pretty intelligent.
Semi-intelligent-ish.
You're fairly intelligent. But it's actually a good topic because...
Well, it makes sense when you think about what they had to survive at the time.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was... So the way that they're figuring it is based off, like, skull dimensions, all that kind of thing. But the newer theory on it had to do with the amount of time it took to develop. So I kind of read through a little bit of the studies that they did.
I haven't read the study because you just sprung this on me now.
Which is the best part about it.
Because now I can make stuff up and totally think like it's fact.
Yeah. 98.6.5%.
Hey, it's almost like American politics, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
Just make it up as you go.
Make it up as you go.
Yeah.
Someone will believe you.
Yeah, exactly right.
But they were saying that just, let's see, it's modern humans of European and Asian descent inherited somewhere between 1 to 4% of their genes from hominids that went extinct. So essentially saying 1 to 4% have genes that are of Neanderthal descent.
Okay.
Which you think about, like, the different sizes.
It's not a huge population, but yeah.
It's not, but it's enough. But they're saying that because the time that their brains developed now, they're saying it took longer for them to their brains were growing for longer, essentially.
Yeah, versus where I think our brain development's pretty much over at what age? 20 or 21 or something like that.
So it's 25.
25
is when the
not a bad guess for not having read it.
No, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
At 25, the prefrontal cortex finishes developing, and that's the logic center of the brain.
I don't have that part.
No, mine never developed. But it's just saying that they might have had longer development process, so there's a whole thing with animal science that it's like zebras, giraffes, all those kind of animals immediately are walking when they...
Oh, yeah, as soon as they come out, they're 5 minutes, they're out walking, following mom.
They need to quickly develop certain things. Well, they were saying with Neanderthals, there was still so much growth because they have found now fossils of, like, younger Neanderthals. Wee babies. They were, around 7 years, and they were like, oh, there's still this much growth plates, these kind of things. And they were like, that means they were still in the development stages, whereas a 7-year-old Homo sapien is this much growth. So
I could buy that for $1. I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of extrapolation there. Yeah. I think there's a lot of extrapolation there as far as them making guesses.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guesses.
Which is kind of what it is.
And how do you prove that? You really can't. But
I mean, they have certain ways of kind of proving it a little bit.
But also, what accounts for intelligence back then might not account for what we consider as intelligence now.
Well, but so I think.
Well, think about this, and it's going to be a weird thing. So,
okay,
you're crazy musical artists like Mozart, Chopin.
Yep.
Your Picassos. Your I can't think of any other artists, but
Leo.
Yeah, Leo. No, DiCaprio's not an artist. But no, but you see, Leo da Vinci, like all those guys. You think about Egypt, the things that happened then. Like, have we gotten dumber? Like, I kind of think at this point, Idiocracy is becoming a documentary and not a movie.
For a while, that was a great movie, by the way.
But like, honestly, like, is that where we're going?
Well,
because some of it, I think, is technology's made it so easy for us to be lazy and not have to figure things out on our own.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, like,
so there's not that thought process. And
yeah,
so
you don't have to work. You don't have to work the problem anymore.
That's kind of where they're saying is that they may have been the smarter ones. Granted,
it's quite possible.
Granted, it may have been more beneficial to have that shorter time period of you can do things quicker, so then your race can survive, or your whatever the hell it would be called for the different Homo sapien as opposed to Neanderthal.
Yeah, your genus or your species.
Whatever. It's probably species.
Yeah.
But
because genus is Homo, the species would be sapien or
whatever. We're obviously we're not scientists, so we're not that.
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I got in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I believe that.
Just kidding.
Absolutely
just kidding.
That. But they have that thought process of it. They might have had a little bit longer, so they could have been smarter.
Well, and that makes sense. You're the safer you are, the slower your learning curve can be.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got to get up and be aware of predators immediately, like you said, with animals like giraffes, zebras,
all those kind of things,
elephants,
it's immediate. Yeah.
A lion would love to eat an baby elephant.
Yeah.
So some of it is they're protected by the parents, but the other part of it is those animals have to get up and move.
Yeah.
Like especially with things like zebras and wildebeest and all, they're on the move almost immediately because they have to be. Horses are the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a big animal to be. When you think about how quick they get up and start moving, that's a big animal to move that fast.
Could you imagine if babies started moving that quickly?
Oh, it'd be terrible. I just left the hospital and the kid's running around. Like, that would be terrible. You don't have like, as a parent, and you know the same thing.
Yeah.
No matter what you think, you're never ready.
No.
So really like, oh, no, we're ready. And as soon as the kid was born, we're like, oh, we're not ready. What do we do?
Even your second, third, whatever,
no.
You're still not ready.
No.
You still are.
You just get better at, okay, the kid ate some.
You're a little bit more
prepared. The kid
prepared.
picked up some dirt and ate it. Whatever. The other one did it and didn't die. So I mean, like.
You're less cautious with the second, third, fourth.
Now,
fifth,
what I do
whatever.
have to say is I do think that for a very smart evolutionary reason, you forget how crappy the first kid was, so that you'll have more. Because when we had our second, we were like, oh my God, why did we do this again? Because we forgot the crying and the diaper changes, and I think that's why you naturally forget those things as time goes. Because otherwise, nobody would ever have more than one kid. Yeah. It's a pain in the
beep. Yeah,
the butt. It's a pain in the butt.
It is. It's insane how,
but super rewarding.
Yes.
So when
absolutely.
As you go farther down the road, it gets super crazy
when they're able
rewarding.
to do more. Yeah. But that leads into the same thing we were talking about, where it's
fast development versus slow development.
If they could do it quicker, it'd be more rewarding immediately.
Yes.
Whereas, so maybe that plays a factor. Maybe
it totally could.
Into why they do that and
God,
why.
I keep looking at the star on your hat, the star on the wall, and it makes me want to throw up.
It's okay. One day you'll have some.
It's hanging up in my house.
You'll have some things, and then
sorry.
And then there'll be eventually just be a thing that says "got 5."
Yeah, and mine will say "got 0." That's okay.
Maybe I'll wear that shirt one day. I have a couple. we kind of went way off topic there,
but no, I think you're right there with the. Would it be more beneficial? Would it not be? Things happen the way they happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and I've got to just trust that that's the plan that there is. Because I can't fathom all the things in this world.
Yeah.
Let me just throw up a bunch of things in the air and let the Legos land how they are, and that's how it's going to be. I don't believe in that.
So you think that you believe in fate?
I believe in a higher power. I believe that there is a design.
But that's the thing, though. Just because you believe in a higher power doesn't mean you believe in fate. Those are
here's my thing. I think that when my time is done and I've done everything that I was put on this earth to do, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to happen like, oh, hey, you shut the door again on Tuesday. That was the last thing. And then you drop. I just think that when you've met your purpose and it's time for you to go, you just go. I don't think you can do anything to stop it.
No,
so that's where I get with, you got to live somewhere. We've had this discussion before too. Like, I'm going to save. I'm not going to do anything fun. My whole life I'm going to save. And then you retire and die and 3 months later.
Yeah.
You enjoyed nothing in your life. You had no time with your family. You did nothing.
And
I think that's terrible. That is a waste of a life.
Absolutely.
Like, and I'm not saying go out and party and do stupid things and be crazy, but
don't do YOLO.
But enjoy yourself. Don't do Yoda.
Yes. Don't do Yodo.
Yodo.
No.
Don't do Yoda. Oh, do me you must.
I was waiting for that one.
Like it you will. Uh-huh. You carry me like backpack you do.
I'm sorry. That was actually pretty funny.
That happens.
But that's why I was saying that there's two it's two distinct things. Believing in a higher power, but believing in fate are two very distinct things. There's believing that when your time comes, it comes, and then believing that this is my destined path, and that's it.
And I would say I believe more in the destined path. Like, I have a pathway. Like, I just got we'll say a transfer to another location.
Yeah.
I've impacted people at multiple locations now at this point, like quite a few locations at this point, because I was an instructor at an academy for a while, so that you touch a lot of people. I just had
really
not necessarily like that, but needless to say, a friend of mine went to a training and met one of the people that I worked with at the very beginning of my career as a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just talking, oh, yeah, you know so-and-so from this area, you know so-and-so. And my name came up, and he was like, that guy saved my job. He was the best person ever. He helped me through a very difficult time, and he allowed me to stay in this agency. And now he's way high up in our agency.
And I'm sure that means a lot to you.
And, oh, my God, like, the fact that I was able to impact someone's life means more than any title, means more than anything. Like, the fact that people remember me... there's going to be some people who remember me for some pretty dumb things that I've done. And that's pretty well known, too. The guys have been like, I can't believe that
we're putting this stuff on the internet. So.
Oh, yeah. This is the same guy that did that. And I'm like, yeah. But at the same time, to have that impact on somebody, like, this person really affected my life in a positive way, that makes you feel good. So if I don't go any higher in as far as leadership in my agency, if I've been able to connect and affect people's lives in a positive manner, and I know I've affected people's lives in a negative manner as well, because
I mean,
it is what it is,
does.
but I said it again, I don't like it. But the fact that I've had somebody remember me from literally, it's probably 2007, 2008 when this situation happened. We're in 2024, and this guy's like, that guy's amazing.
I still remember him.
I still remember him, and he did great things for me and my family. And that, I'll tell you what, hits you in the feels. But that, that honestly hits you in the feels. It makes you feel really good about, like, okay, I've done something good with my life. I've affected other people. So, worst case scenario, something happens, I'll always be remembered by at least one person for that good thing that I did. And I know it's more people than that, just based on what people have said.
But at least you have that.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is kind of a weird thing if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's almost self-gratification at that point.
Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
But it's a weird one because it's not
self-gratification with impact.
Okay, yeah, there's that. But it's kind of a weird situation because it's not fully just for you. You're not just looking out for you.
I didn't do it for me. It just happened to be like I never had that gratification until now.
Yeah. But it's fulfilling. It's you do these things, and if we had more people in the world that actually had that mentality,
if you did things for the right reasons,
it's not self-gratification of like, oh yeah, I'm the best, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, exactly.
did a thing that impacted someone else that for the better.
Well, and to be honest, I had completely forgot about that situation until the guy says, "Hey, do you remember this guy?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, great dude, awesome dude to work with. Like he was one of my guys. He was a hard worker, blah blah blah." And he goes, "He just told me about how you helped him keep his job and keep his family fed." And it was like,
see, that's a whole
totally didn't even remember it. Like
that's a big one though. That's a big like touching thing to you.
Oh.
Well, it touch you like that, but
no, it did. I mean, it really touched my heart because it's like I didn't do it because of that reason. Like I didn't do it to be like, well, in 20 years, this guy's going to remember me.
Absolutely,
I did it because it was the right thing to do.
Yes.
And when you do the right, what I'm going to call the right and moral thing,
yes,
like what happened to this guy wasn't something that one that he could control, two that we had to get rid of him for. Like it was a medical condition that we're like, listen. There's ways to fix this. There's ways for us to get around this where you can keep your job, but you have to provide and prove A, B, and C to do it.
Yeah.
And I walked him through all those steps, and now he's like, I have lived a good life in this agency. I've got a great life with my family because of what you did to help me. Yeah. And he said, this guy could have written me off and just said, well, you got to deal with it.
That's the crazy thing is just going off of what you're saying is what you did to help.
Oh yeah.
That's hard to find nowadays of what you did to help me. Not what you did to help us or what you did to help, whatever what you did to help me. And a lot of people don't do that anymore. It's not
sad. That's in my mind. And let me cut in. I hate to cut in on you.
No, you're good.
In my mind, this is one of those situations where that shows the difference between leadership and management. Mm-hmm. I was a leader. I provided everything that I could to this guy to make him successful. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's up to him to get to A, B, and C. I didn't make him do A, B, and C. I gave him the route to get to A, B, and C.
Yes.
He did the work. All I did was show him the path. And I supported him when he called and said, "Hey, I got to take care of this today. Can you help me out?" Yeah, you're taken care of.
So have you ever seen those, they're memes of just like management, leadership.
Oh, yeah.
And then
well, was
craziness?
it Richard Branson who said I think it was Richard Branson, but I can't remember that. I can't even bring up the quote now. It's in my head. I put it up in my cubicle where I was before I left. Mm-hmm. And it was something along the lines of, reward your good employees because without your good employees, they're going to leave and you're going to have no employees. Something along those lines. I'll get the quote and I'll bring it up for another cast.
We'll put it up on the. We'll put it up on our social media.
Yeah,
we'll put that up.
We'll put it up on TikTok.
Where's that one? On TikTok. No, but we can put that on our social media because it makes a difference.
It's true. It's true. If you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your business. Yes. And it's something along those lines. And I really wish I could remember the exact quote because I had it up at my desk forever.
Yeah.
And I had a leader, I'm going to say a manager, who came in and was like, "What's this all about?" I'm like, "Well, it's the truth." And he's like, "Oh, I can treat you however I want to." And I said, "Yeah." And that's why everybody hates you and nobody will go out of their way for you.
And that makes a significant difference, especially when you're working for somebody like that.
Oh, exactly.
Because
it's terrible.
There's a huge difference between someone that's a leader, because a leader doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are a supervisor, you're a manager, you are general manager, whatever it may be.
Honestly, I have, on the shift that I work right now, I have two leaders who are phenomenal, and they're regular officers.
Yeah.
They're not in management. They're not sergeants. They're not lieutenants. They're not captains. But people follow them. And then I've got the relationship with them that they're like, "Hey, what do we need to be doing?" "Well, this is the path we need to be going on." "Okay, we got you." And they handle it. Like I don't even have to manage.
Yeah.
They handle it. And then when there's issues, "Hey, we've got an issue with this. Okay, let me see what we can do."
Yes.
I've always had the statement to people, "Don't make me do my job as a supervisor."
Yes.
You will not like me if I have to do my job as a supervisor. That means we're failing. if we work together as a team and move forward in the direction we're supposed to move, I don't have to do my job as a supervisor. Like, I'm going to have to do paperwork, reports, etc. But in dealing with my personnel, I don't have to do my supervisory job if you guys are doing your job.
Yes.
Because if you're doing your job, I'm going to go to my managers and say, we're doing our job, we're hitting our goals, we're getting everything done that you have asked us to do, and I will take that heat. Then it's on me.
Yes.
And that's fine.
And that's
what I signed up for.
That's kind of what a leader is.
Yeah.
They're gonna, and I've mentioned this multiple times, not on the podcast, but as I was growing up, all the things I had to do.
Yeah.
I wish.
Sorry.
I really wish.
I'm an a-hole today. I really am. I really
you have been a little bit today.
But I've been excited because of the change.
Stuff happening. But it's something I've always thought since I was younger, and going through a lot of things I had to go through with where I'm in a fraternity. It's a lifelong thing, at least with mine. And while I was going through, I was the youngest one pledging, doing all this stuff, and everyone kind of didn't have heat towards me, but they just kind of had certain expectations of me, and they expected me to speak a certain way. And I remember talking to the president at the time. Well, I mean, yeah.
You are an angel. So you spoke to the president, yeah.
So I spoke to the president at the time and told him, I was like, because in my pledge class, I had to be president, historian, and something else. I don't remember what else. But I was the youngest one. Granted, by 6-7 months.
Yeah.
With actually my best friend. And he was like, it's kind of weird that you're doing all this normally. And so I told him, I was like, sometimes, because granted, at the time my grades weren't the best because I took on a lot onto my plate. And I was like, but sometimes leading doesn't mean you lead from the front or you lead from the back. It means you lead from within.
Yep, exactly.
Because it's not, I'm leading from the front, I'm showing you what to do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times
that's how you get shot first.
Yeah, that too. But a lot of times it's do as I say, not as I do when you do that.
Yeah.
And then when you lead from the back, it's literally do as I say, not as I do, because you're the one in the back. That's where kind of that comes from, both sides of that. But if you're leading from within, hey, I'm doing this with you.
They know you're doing everything that they're doing, and you're there to support, and they're there to support you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like that, I saw it in his eyes. He had that moment of, that's actually a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You're leading from within, not...
Exactly.
Because, granted, I had the titles, and the titles usually bring a certain...
They bring some weight, yeah.
So, it was...
And let me just say this, like, I believe, and I'm pretty sure you are along the same lines, that sometimes you have to lead by title.
Yes.
There is no choice. Sometimes you have to.
Absolutely.
Like, you look at the generals in World War II, D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't storm the beaches with you on D-Day. But that's the objective we have to do. And, hey, we know. And that had to be terrible decisions for the guys on those boats saying, I know I'm sending 25 to 30% of you to die today.
Yeah.
And how they live with that, God, it's hard to think.
But I think you're in a different mindset because of the situation.
Absolutely. Well, and the soldiers beneath them understood that as well. And that's the difference where the military versus regular people.
But I think you can take that into regular life too.
Oh, I think so as well. Yeah, I mean, it definitely carries over to civilian life for sure.
Yes.
But I definitely think like those guys, like the decisions those guys had to make, they knew 30% of you are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We have to take that objective. If we don't, how many more will die? That means then 100,000 are going to die in the next year if we don't take this objective now. So
and that brings in the greater good.
Ooh, and that's a weight. Like that is honestly,
And
a very big weight, and that's what those guys
you have to bear for the rest of your life.
Yep.
That's
and a lot of them
do.
do. And when you see a lot of interviews from these guys, Band of Brothers is a great one. You hear, Captain Winters, or actually Major Winters by the time he was done, I think, talk about, no, I wasn't a hero, but I served in a platoon of heroes. Yeah. Like, he didn't see himself as this crazy dude. Like, that guy did amazing things. They teach his assault on the guns at West Point.
Yeah.
He took over Easy Company from day one when his commander got shot out of the sky. He ran that division from the beginning. Well, not the division, the company from the beginning, and then worked his way up through the ranks because everybody respected him. He went there with him. He ran in front of them. Like how the guy didn't get killed, I don't know. When you watch the movie and they're like, oh, it's pretty close to what happened. Like, to go through just Bastogne in and of itself, the fact that anybody survived the Battle of the Bulge is amazing.
Yeah.
Because some of those guys were down to 1 round of ammunition per man a day.
That's insane.
Like,
because
they're coming with tanks. I got a round. We're done. Like,
or the round was for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just amazing when you think of the sacrifices those guys made, and they didn't do it. They did it for the country. They did it for their sense of duty. But you know why they did it? Because of the man sitting next to them.
Yeah.
And that goes to brotherhood. That goes to, and I want to say law enforcement in general. That goes to the blue line. That goes to, why law enforcement guys take that pledge. They want to protect the country. They want to do great things for their country and to make people safe. Yeah. Now, do we get bad apples? Absolutely.
But that's in everything.
Every job does.
Every kind of job. I was going to say that's in every kind of job.
Every job has that. Every place has that situation where those things happen. So, I mean, you're getting licked by a dog. You got to drive by licking.
It was literally a drive by licking.
Boston Terriers are creepy. Gone. So we're talking about all sorts of, crazy stuff when a Boston Terrier does a licking drive-by. But I mean, those things are, when you think about them, like the gravity and the weight of those decisions are just.
And that's the insane thing. Could you imagine just, okay, I make this X decision, it means these people end up having to die.
Yep.
Or I make X decision, these people don't die, but
these people could die.
It's the but.
Well, when you think about the movie's Imitation Game, and it talks about the computer, the Turing computer, that they made that literally broke the German Enigma codes. They had to decide, this convoy, we can't tell them this convoy that they're coming, because if we give too many things and we shut them down, they'll change the code on the Enigma, and we'll never catch it again. So they had to pick and choose which were the battles that we could win and lose without tipping the other side off as to what's going on. Like,
that's
how that guy lived. Oh my gosh. Like,
and that's the thing too, is it's not even just,
it was a whole group of people that had to live with those decisions. And that's like,
but that's not,
what do we pick?
It's not even just that. It's, you have to live with that decision. And then on top of it, the outcomes after.
Well, and the one guy was like, my brother's on that convoy. Yeah. And they're like, we can't tell him. We can't.
Could you imagine just the weight of that?
I could not. And that's the sacrifices that were made because they had to be made.
Yeah. And
that's the scariest part of it. Like, and I'm sure those decisions are being made right now as we speak.
Well, and
amongst other things.
If you think about it, let's bring it into everyday things.
Oh, yeah.
You decide, hey, this second I want to go do X thing. I need to go to the grocery store. I want to go do this. I want to go do whatever. That can actually make an impact because, hey, you were on the road at this moment.
Yep.
Caused some accident. Or I ended up being at this situation in this place and I was able to save somebody because of training that you have or the kind of person.
And once again, on Bikes, Mics, and Idiots, we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, Sketchy Alias. He's a freelance graphic designer from Arizona who specializes in vector-based artwork. I'm an idiot. I don't know what that means, but it's really cool. He's been working on design for over 15 years and has worked in everything from logos, apparel, design, and social media. He's made a phenomenal logo for us, and he is, like I said, one of our founding sponsors. What happened with me and Angry Jim the other day?
Oh, yeah.
So we had some training. We're heading back to meet everybody up to have a couple of drinks at the watering hole. Oh, here comes a drive-by.
That one's not going to be a drive-by.
So we're heading south. We're heading southbound on the road we're going on, and then all of a sudden a car cuts through the lane, flips, and rolls over like 3 or 4 cars in front of us. We're like, whoa.
It's a drive-by licking still.
Drive-by licking, yeah, it happens. So we get out, like we pull the bikes, like we're on motorcycles. We don't have a ton of stuff. Yeah. We pull over to the side. I grab my first aid kit that I keep on the motorcycle, and we run over there, and the kid gets out of the car, not hurt, thank God. We sat him down on the vehicles, talking to him. DPS shows up. The medical shows up, all that. And we're like, hey, are we good? Yeah, we're good. But we checked him for, any type of major injuries, no bleeds, no punctures, no issues breathing, that kind of stuff. And as we left, his parents were both like, thank you so much for stopping and checking on him. Yep, we're good, we're out. And we just left. But they'll always remember, I remember in that wreck, those 2 guys on motorcycles stopped to check on him. And what does that do for the motorcycle guys? Now all of a sudden, this family's like, these guys really cared. They stopped and checked.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a significant difference on the perception of who
motorcyclists or anybody that stops. There was a couple of people that stopped from one of the local gas companies. Oh, sorry, I got like
that's gonna be hilarious.
There was like sweat dripping in my ear. I had
when that post.
Yeah. But I mean those types of interactions that forever changed that family's perception of at least the 2 of us.
Yes.
But honestly, probably of people in general, like
on motorcycles.
These 2 dudes on motorcycles who are like not me and Angry Jim are neither small dudes.
No.
Like we're kind of scruffy. We look like motorcyclists.
And that's kind of, I think there's somewhat of a difference between people that are riding sports bikes as opposed to baggers or cruisers.
Well, and that's why our club, for the most part, is cruiser style motorcycles.
Absolutely,
versus sport bikes. It's the sport bike. I've ridden sport bikes forever.
Yeah,
these are this is my first Harley. I've had a cruiser beforehand, but the sport bike community and the Harley community are pretty different.
Yeah.
Now, absolutely. Not to say good, bad, or indifferent on either one. They're both good communities. They're just different communities.
But there's a look to people that ride.
Sport bikers, everybody thinks young dude, young and stupid. Yes. And then one of my favorite videos that I saw on Insta was a guy that gets pulled over and he takes his helmet off. The cop was like, oh, I was expecting like a 25-year-old dude. He goes, yeah, I'm 54. But I raced motorcycles growing up. Like, and the guy's like, well, I guess I'm going to give you a warning. Like, I totally expected you to be like a 20-year-old dude who didn't pull over. And he's like, no, I'm 54. I'm too old for that crap.
Yeah.
But we go about, is perception reality versus is perception just exactly that? Like, it's our own biases. Yeah. And we all have biases. There's not a single person on this planet who doesn't have a bias for something.
Yes.
We all do. We all do. There's no way about it. The point of getting through bias is enlightening yourself about more information about whatever it happens to be. And that doesn't mean you're ever going to be smart about it. That doesn't mean you're ever going to be all-knowing. You're just going to have a bias still. You just got to try to
keep it under
control.
Don't judge a book by its cover kind of thing.
Yeah.
So since you were talking about the accident thing, I'll talk about one of the ones. I'm sure I'll bring up another one when on a different podcast, but I remember one and I was in my car, luckily, so it's not going to be biker related, but that's going on there. It's not going to be biker related, but near where we work, there's an intersection that always
It's a bad
has
intersection.
accidents.
Bad intersection.
And so there was. You can only hope.
She's a good girl.
She is. You can only imagine like the accidents that do happen there. It just happened to be kind of late at night. I'm driving through that area. This is way before we're working in that area. I'm driving by, but luckily because of the training that we do have, because of what we do, as I'm coming up to it, it's just a dust cloud. There's just a lot of dust in the air.
Yep.
It's just a lot of dust in the air. And I pull up to the intersection, and all of a sudden I see like a Nissan Versa. And you know how like it dips down in the corners for pedestrians to be able to walk off the sidewalk? Well, in that corner, so essentially like this is that corner. In that corner right here, there's a little Nissan Versa. Didn't really think too much of it, but as I drove up, I stopped in the intersection because there was already people starting to walk up. I stopped in the middle of the intersection to block traffic a little bit so that no one got hit. I stopped there. The whole front end of this Nissan Versa is gone. I'm talking engine and all.
Oh, the whole thing, the whole front clip gone.
Whole front end.
man.
I'm not talking just, the front bumper, fenders, nothing. No, this is whole front end. It's sitting in that corner. So let's say this is the intersection. They're sitting here. They're sitting right here.
Yeah.
They were turning. So come to find out, they were turning. So they were here. They're coming this way. They ended up facing this way in this corner. And that's the dog he makes out with, by the way.
Yes.
Just so you guys know.
It's Piper. She matches my shirt and my mic.
And she cuddles with you at night.
Yes, she does.
Oh,
She's a
wait,
good
sorry. She cuddles with you during the day.
Yes. When I
So
sleep.
this car is sitting in this corner right here.
How
This is
the heck
intersection.
did that happen?
So I'm gonna give you this whole information. It's coming this way. This is the intersection. It's sitting here. They were turning this way. So that car's sitting like this. Engine is sitting in the right turn lane. Over here, the whole engine is sitting there. So there was some kids that, assuming they were drunk because they had like a 30-pack in the car, they were like in a Chevy Traverse.
Well, you know what we say about assuming? It's
Yeah.
the Chevy Traverse is the problem, not the 30-pack.
So they were coming this way. This car was about to turn.
Guilty.
And yeah. So I'm guessing they hit them here. I don't know the logistics of it because it's so insane. So you think they're coming here, it hits them here, the engine would go flying that way, right? Somehow the engine ended up over here. This car ends up here. And that Traverse ended up in like a little bit of a ditch over here.
Cars do some weird things when they get hit, honestly. They really do sometimes.
Well, these kids, so they bailed out of the car, jumped into like the neighborhood, jumped over
They've
fences.
probably been drinking.
That was the assumption because when guys went up there, because I focused on the car that had no engine. Guys came up afterwards. They're like, yeah, they had a 30-pack in the car, this, that, and the other. But there is a bigger lady sitting in the driver's seat, bigger dude sitting in the passenger seat.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying. That fly's driving me nuts. Anyway.
And then there's a car seat in the back, like a little kid. Luckily, someone was already holding the kid when I got around to checking everybody. Someone's already holding the little kid. And they're just like, no, they're good. They're fine. Luckily, they were in a good car seat.
Yeah.
And so I'm checking everybody. I'm checking the driver first. Okay, you're good. Don't move. Don't take off your seatbelt. Stay here. I go around, checking the passenger. And he's having trouble breathing, this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, this is a situation. I told somebody, I was just like, hey, keep an eye on him.
Did you call EMS?
They had already called.
Okay.
So that was happening. That was already happening. And then I see the car seat, and then someone behind me is like, I got the kid. You know, they're good. They're not even crying at this point because they had already kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
And then there's guys in the back of the car. So I said, little Versa. So 2 sets of seats. It's a hatchback. It's not the sedan. It's the hatchback Versa. They're like, hey, we need to get this open. I was like, what the hell's going on? I go to the back. There's a lady wedged between the seat because, you know, there's not much room back there.
Oh, no.
There's not a lot
I
of room.
barely fit in the front seat of a Versa, let alone anywhere else in a Versa.
So there's a lady wedged between the back seat
and the glass
and the hatch. She's wedged in there.
How did she get back there?
She wasn't wearing her seatbelt.
That'll
She
do
was
it.
the only one not wearing her seatbelt. She ended up wedged back there. Insane situation.
Yeah.
How do you end up in there? Well, we can't do nothing. We can't get it open. We're trying to like hit buttons, do whatever we can. Nothing.
No power
Then,
at that point.
Yeah. And then it hit me. I was like, oh no. There's no battery. There's no nothing. There's nothing to power this
You'll have to
electronic
get a
lock.
key. Is there still a key on those, aren't there, in their back?
No, that one, there's no key to the back to open it.
There's an emergency release in the back seat behind in the cargo area. There isn't.
Okay, so
you can't get to it unless you know exactly where it's at.
And that's the thing. You know, you're moving so quickly. You don't. You
like,
got to know all these cars.
Get lady on back seat. Help me! She's sitting there going, "Help me!"
No. Well, here's the crazy thing. She was unconscious.
Oh, so she was just like this.
She was just there. Yes. She was just so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this was you. I'm sorry.
If this was you,
laughing. I'm sorry.
Hit us with a like and a comment, and we'll make it up to you.
Yeah, because I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but that it is kind of funny when you're thinking about it. But that's the thing is like
we're terrible human beings.
How are you supposed to know?
Well, exactly.
All the cars, you know what I mean? All the little features.
Every
of the
car is different nowadays. There's crazy changes.
So she's back there, and we're just like, all right, screw it. There was like 3 of us. 3 guys just were like, all right, screw it. Let's see if we can break this. Let's see if we can muscle it out. We bent it. That was better.
Well, those latches are strong.
I was like, holy crap. So finally, EMS showed up, fire truck showed up.
Yeah, they know
all
how
that
to
stuff.
do all that.
They finally were able
the
to.
The guy's like, oh, here, watch this.
Nope. Jaws of life.
They just cut it open.
They cut it open.
It's easier to cut it open.
So they cut it open. And
they said, hey, we tried the release, but somebody bent this back door. And the 3 of you guys are like,
was it us?
It was that guy. Yeah. It was the accident. We didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, and that was the crazy thing. We were thinking about it, and it was just like, how do you end up wedged back there first? But second of all, like, she was unconscious until we started kind of bending a little bit. She started like, oh my, and we were like, oh crap! But luckily they showed up, right at that moment.
Well, and you guys, honestly, the average person isn't a specialist in getting a car open. We're just not.
No, but
and I'm a car guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a release, but without crawling through the back seat of the car, I wouldn't find it.
No,
like
there's
always a mechanical release for a trunk or a hatch on every car. But where is it?
But where?
Who knows? Nobody knows.
So that's what makes it the craziest thing is that you think of those situations and it's just like, all right, screw it. We're going to try to muscle it.
Yeah.
That's your next thought because there was enough that we could get our hands in there and try to muscle it.
So what you're telling him is that you were like, dude.
Well,
I must open the back of this car now and then get you in the chopper.
I mean, if it was anything like the situation when I had that accident, my adrenaline was probably pumping too.
Oh yeah.
But even all the cops that showed up, EMS, everybody, they were just like, "Okay, you did good.
You did good. Get out of the way."
Yeah, they were like,
basically,
"You're good." You know, and I talked to the cops too. I was like, "Hey, this is what I saw. This." They're like, "All right, yeah, you can go. You can head out. We got this covered." Most random part about it, pretty sure one of the cops that showed up, so they had to be professional, was someone I went to high school with. Just the random part throwing that in there of running into people that you know.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. So it's craziness, but
so I think we're gonna wrap up today.
Oh, we're gonna wrap up today.
Hit that. I think we've hit that number.
Have we? I think
barely.
This has actually been a very good day for me. One, I'm happy I got my transfer.
There you
Two,
go.
we had a good day at lunch with Hartui. But this has just been it's been a really good day.
It's been very productive.
So
it's been
all
productive.
I got to say is live good,
ride hard,
and we'll catch you next time.